Okay, so it's 2:20 on Sunday morning. Not 2:22, 2:20. And the other day when all the numbers were lining up so weird, I don't even know if I don't remember if I told you guys. It was the weirdest thing. Because it was 111 when I looked at the clock. And the next time I looked at it, it was 222. The next time I looked at it was 303. And the next time I looked at it was 424. I was like, God, that's weird. It's like a countdown. And then, but countdown to what? Everything's the same. So, one thing that is different though is my belly button and now has not leaked for 2 days. So I'm thinking, I wonder if it has something to do with the patch, because that does stuff from the inside. And I have been doing all that stuff from the outside. So the different things that I've been trying on Stella's thing and also on my eye. I haven't put all the stuff on my eye because it is like so close. I can't even believe it. And I was just checking my peripheral while I was making my tea. And it's like in this eye, I can only see this part of the room. Like when I shut my eye, I can't see this. It's very creepy when you do that and you start moving your hand around and your hand's just out. And it is the weirdest fucking feeling. I can't even tell you. As you're moving your hand, you know it's out there moving and you can't see it. Ooh, it's really weird. So anyways, but one thing about my eye this morning is it's pretty flat and just kind of crusty feeling. So I'm hoping it's really going away. I have been doing aloe vera on that because it's aloe vera and castor oil is the only thing I feel like I can get that close to my eyeball without, you know, putting more problems in there or something. So I, those, like if I put the oregano oil, oh shit, that would burn the fuck. That stuff is hot. And let me think, because when I always do my eye and Stella's chin at the same time. So the horse paste, colloidal silver, we did that. I think I put colloidal silver up here too. Because that, you know, that's just like water that's been infused with silver. So that, I think I put that there. And I put that on Stella's. Hers is still, keep trying to keep it dry because she kept she was the one leaving the blood. She's the one who, she starts scratching her chin and she leaves this blood because she opens it up. And Tommy's thing, oh my God. And parts of it are, oh, I don't want hers to turn into that. Like, fuck, man. He's got, it's rough. Man, it's rough. Every day you think, oh, you know, he's gonna be gone. Now my mom's like, oh my God, what if he goes into a coma? I said, that can take a week of starvation. You're gonna have to call and have him come. But, you know, I get that thing. People, when it comes to time to putting your animal down, it's very difficult. You know, it's a hard decision to make. And so that's where, you know, we can't judge each other. It's between the animal and the person. I kept telling her, you know, he's staying for you. You got to talk to him. You got to release him. You got to tell him it's okay to go. You'll meet up later. And she's from the religious propaganda or religious programming. And so she has a whole different way of looking at it and stuff. Because to me, it's like, I think, come right back to you. But that is not how everybody looks at it. So, you know, I did just get a cup of tea. And there was a few things I want to talk about. And so it was, I was looking at some videos. And see, right away, like, my first video was saying something because my mom was, she's been having a lot of dizziness. And she did have to take her patch off because her blood pressure was going up. Each day it kept going up and she would get really lightheaded. Stell, come on. There was a weird noise, like a kind of eerie, like, ooh. I don't know, it's probably a cat in there making some noise. Cats are up all night. Stell, okay, it was probably the kitty cats. Okay. Shh, come on, I'm working. Lay down. I'll get a drink while she barks it out. Um, I also wanted to show this thing, but let me finish about. So I haven't been having any side effects that I've figured out or put together. Every time, like sometimes I always think like the disclosure thing, but I do have a brain injury. I mean, something could be going and I'm not paying it and I don't realize it or something. So, anyways, but she had to take hers off yesterday and then she's gonna, I think she's gonna try a half of one today. But I don't know, because she's got to go to church, and I know she's not going to feel like that at church, because she gets really dizzy and lightheaded. It feels like she can't think and stuff like she's having, and that's on 7. So, um, so anyways, we'll try it, cutting it, and see if she can do it on 3. But I told her, well, at least you got the 6 days in, because that's what is, in their one study that they were doing. And the thing that their little diagnosis thing that they carried forth was called long, and then the sickness word that starts with a C. So that, which to me is, man, I don't know how to explain it, because it's like so weird how you can see things, but then it's so hard to break it down, to explain it to somebody. It's like telepathy makes so much more sense, because it's just like you can just hand them this thing and then they can see it and decipher it for their own selves. This language, it is a language barrier. That is so true. It is like they've got us on crutches in a lot of ways in our life, in our existence. It's like we're on crutches. We're a bunch of cripples. So hold on a second. Let me get another drink. I want to show this too, because this is, I don't know, I find it kind of remarkable. So I want to talk about honey gets so fucking messy. And then, man, when you don't have just my little sink thing that I've made up is like a jug of water and a bowl and soap. And so you had to pour you have to tip the water jug to wash your hands. And so, anyways, it's a lot more convenient. Just turn on the water, wash your hands. So it gets sticky all the time. So from the honey, but anyways, I wanted to show this because this is 3 pounds of honey. This is how much honey I've used in a week. So I go through like a pound of honey easy in a week. I think I go through, like that is almost half. See, I would say about a 1.5 or something, because the one that I use normally is 2 pounds, and I need several of those for a month. So one won't make it like, I think a little over a week, maybe a week and a couple days. And that is one of the things when I kept saying, how am I going through supplies so fast? Like, this is crazy. Like my honey would be out in a week and I'd be like, what in the holy hell is going on? And so now having this big one, and my mom just got this for me when she went with her friend to Costco last week. It was Saturday or Sunday, I think. Saturday, I know it's been like a week. No, anyway, so I use that much, but the reason I want to talk about it is because that seems like a lot of fucking honey. And I just put it in my tea. And I don't put a shit ton. It looks like, I don't know, I figure like maybe a tablespoon, just like a spoonful of honey. So, but I just squirt it in. I don't squirt it on the spoon, measure it, and then put it in. I just squirt it in. At the bottom of my cup, there's like this circle, and I just fill that circle. And it doesn't even taste that sweet. And so the thing that's weird is when I was younger, I would never, oh my God, I was sure the fuck wasn't going to use sugar and then not honey. Like, man, you'll just get so fat. So I went on Sweet and Low, Diet Coke, Sweet and Low, all that kind of diet bullshit that is so full of chemicals and stuff, which I weighed more on those than I do right now. So it's weird. It's just weird. That kind of just trips me out because I go through so much honey. And in my mind, my program was before, you know, oh, you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get fat, you're gonna get fat. And then I broke that program and started just by drinking it and then seeing like, well, I'm not getting fat. I'm having honey every day in my tea. And before it was Sweet and Low and that Coffee Mate and Sweet Cream Coffee Mate. Once they came out with that one, I was hooked. But but I got off of all that shit, you know, and now I've got a bunch of powders for teas. In that expose the other day that, you know, the artist did, he talked about a lot of the stuff, like how it's really good for you, you really need it and stuff. A lot of the stuff I was already on, that was something my mom was like, oh man, you already take a bunch of stuff, he says. And so it's in the teas and stuff. So anyways, I totally am hooked on the natural, and everything's provided for. Like my perspective has changed a lot throughout this whole thing, but it's just very trippy when you know, the way my programming was. But then you think like, you know, how convenient is that to get us programmed that way, so that we go and we take all these more chemicals, because that stuff had formaldehyde and all sorts of shit, and it didn't matter even when people were telling me. I was hooked on that fucking Sweet and Low. Fuck, man. I've about 40 fucking years. I don't know how long it was around, but it was a long fucking time that I drank that shit. A lot of it, too. When I drank that stuff, things were sweet. I would put 2 of those sometimes, like in a glass of tea, and I had my kids all hooked on it. You know, it's weird how you just don't, I don't know, you can be so blind to some of this stuff. And like we go out to a restaurant, which we did all the time, went and got Mexican food, went and got nachos and stuff, and get an iced tea, and then open a couple of those, and we'd go through all the fucking Sweet and Low in the thing, and put a couple in there. It was really good. Not all my daughters did. I remember my younger daughter did. I think maybe she used something else. Maybe she was using sugar or the yellow one. I don't remember, but I remember having all those little torn packets there, and I would always take 2 and put them in a glass of tea. And I'm pretty sure in my cup of tea, I don't know if I put 1 or 2, but I had it always really sweet. Like, this doesn't taste sweet to me at all, like that. And I liked it like sweet and creamy. And when I was in England working when I was younger, and that tea, that's where I got fat. I did get, but I also was really indulging in their candy too. But the tea, I would drink that tea, and I would put a lot of sugar and a lot of the cream, and it was so good. But I gained a lot of weight there, and then I had to come back home, and then as soon as I wasn't doing that, then I lost weight. I just think like you go through different fluctuations in your life, especially girls more than guys. But anyways, I was just thinking it's so weird, you know, our programming, and then thinking that something is like all these chemicals and stuff. I wasn't even thinking about. I don't know. My perspective was so different. It's hard to even rationalize it. But anyways, like, and then when people say, oh, you gotta stay away from, well, they always say you gotta stay away from sugar, which I use sugar when I make cookies a lot of the time. And I used sugar because I have sugar to make my kombucha, which I'm out of making that. I don't know. There's some things like down in the garage. It's just like, I don't want to do that. So I'm very, you know, my countdown and my everything. I'm anxious at this point to get to my own place, my own world, my own, you know, get my stuff out, unpack, give the dogs more room, and just get, like, especially for the dogs, you know. And Stella gets really whiny, and I know she's just missing her house, missing her yard. Her whole life got turned upside down so fast, and that had been her whole life for so long. Even when we would go on vacation, she would get whiny to get home, and she gets so excited when we get home and running through her yard, barking at everybody, and she was so happy. And so I know, you know, that she's stressed out. And yesterday, all of a sudden, She got up, she started was whining. She went outside and she started like peeing and peeing and peeing. Then she went over to the gate. She really wanted to go out for a walk. So I was like, okay, get her off this thing about peeing every 2 seconds. So she peed every few steps. I was like, okay, something's wrong. She's got a bladder infection or something. So turn around, come back, which sometimes that walk, it's like walking a sloth, I'm telling you. It's like, oh, and she'll just start pulling. The other day she pulled me and there was people there, and I know it looked like cartoons. I know it looks so ridiculous when I'm like trying to pull back and she's just blah, 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 and I'm just boom, 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 boom the whole way. And I've got these other dogs that are, who knows what all they're doing. I think Max is trying to go. I think they're all trying to go different directions, but Stella is the strongest. When she decides that we're going a certain way, we're all going. And she's fucking strong, man. So, I got back here finally, and then I went to my mom, and I said, I think I need some antibiotic. I bring up the stuff I had, and she's like, that's not the right stuff. She's just, I was like, I don't know. I don't even have a memory of, there's so many things that are patchy. I just know he told me to get this stuff. This wasn't the right stuff. This wasn't what I told you to get, but it was similar. It's a different brand or something. So I don't remember the whole conversation. I didn't just go and buy this just because, you know, I thought of it or something. I was asking the last time she had a bladder infection thing. So, and everything gets me like nervous because Winston's bladder thing, you know, how it ended up being some cancer or something and killed it. Well, it was cancer, as they said, but, and it killed him. So then it starts being like, but I'm doing all the things. Yeah, it's, like she does the horse, just on this, the horse paste, the colloidal silver, aloe vera, man, there's more, DSMO, oregano oil, castor oil. So I've been doing tons of things on there. And then the vinegar spray in her, not in her vagina, you know, I just spray around that area with the vinegar spray. This is my own apple cider vinegar that I made. And it has a mother inside the bottle, so I know it's good. And, so then, but, anyways, my mom's mixing this antibiotic, and it's fish antibiotic that you can get online. It's cephalexin or something, but you can also get amoxicillin, so there's different ones, but you also have to mix them with something else. And I think I just gave her the other stuff before, and she's like, it's a fish antibiotic. It's like, well, we're using goat this and horse that, like, aren't we? And then, so she goes, this is what you got to mix it with. It's so important and stuff. So, what is that? And it looks like iron. Have you ever seen liquid iron? And she said, it's a horse antibiotic. It's like, of course. And, so anyway, she's trying to figure out the amount and everything, and Stella's very horse size. She's not like a big horse. She's the size of a mini horse. And because I've had people tell me, like, they've seen me out and stuff and been like, she's bigger than my mini horse. So, hold on. So, she puts the horse antibiotic. I'm going to shake it up, and I go give her some. And she stopped with the whining. She started, I did give her some medicine too. But she stopped with the whining. She lay down. She didn't get up and go pee. Now she's held it a really long time. So I gave her another dose in the middle of the night. I'm going to give her a couple more. But that stuff seems like it works so fast. Because one time she got a bladder infection on the way here. I thought because she didn't drink water the whole way. It was like 6 hours. And so when we got here, she was just thirsty. She was drinking and drinking and drinking. But then she started doing this pee. And so my mom, that's when she had showed me the first time about that stuff. So I gave her that, and it worked real quick. And so this time, too, worked really fast. Or she seemed better real quick. Then I was thinking, I wonder, because, man, it just sucks. Because, you know, it'd be nice if we could go and get diagnoses or whatever through the testing, you know, so through imaging or blood testing, because then, you know, you start trying to evaluate what's her symptoms, what she's doing and all this stuff. It's like, I don't know, she could be pre-diabetic, you know, She could be diabetic. She could have kidney stone, like all these different things. She could have a tumor behind her ear. This thing could be a tumor that's going on. Like, I have no idea on those things. And so I just have to keep going at what, as a parent to me. And yesterday, even, I was getting so, I don't remember what it was. She's doing a bunch of stuff, but then I have to keep thinking, well, this is what happens when dogs get older too. They start having all sorts of issues and all sorts of things. And so a part of the med bed thing is supposed to be, there's a whole med bed for animals. It's some other thing. It's not like the same as ours, but I guess apparently when you go in to set up for yours, you can set up for your animals. So, that's what I've been waiting for fucking years. Because when I drove to Costa Mesa, that's what I thought I was kind of going to do. I thought those med beds were, but then once I seen the thing, but even when I saw her talking about them, but that's all that was available then. But it was a high frequency healing, and we all need that. But I feel like we're going into a world of that. Like, the world is going to be changing. It's so trippy too, because, hold on. Let's finish it. It's so trippy too, because all these people, I don't know what happens in the night. I mean, it's just my nose runs nonstop. So when I'm not wiping it all night, it's like, I guess I just wipe it on the pillow. Look, I don't know. It never stops fucking running. So anyways, it's so trippy because this stuff that keeps going is so fucking absurd. Like the whole, all the fucking Zelensky drama. Oh my God. Oh my God. I swear to God, it's just to get eyes on it. It's just to get attention so that they can unfold the next thing. Because some of this shit is so goddamn absurd. And, but it's also so weird because so many people, it's real to them. In their reality, this is really playing out. And it's like, this is a show. And you can't get people to see it, just like I couldn't see about the Sweet and Low all that time ago. But and I think, if you were fortunate enough to get to see the Charlie Freak rundown, the 3-hour video or whatever he did those years ago, I swear it's just such a part of the puzzle to me. Because to me, I don't think I even finished the other day when I was saying, but so they had all these rotten people who put themselves in. And so Donald comes in, and so, yeah, Barack had his 8, and so then they were trying to slide Hillary in, right? Because that was after that. And Donald went up against her, set the whole thing in motion, because that was the first time for us to start hearing about the integrity of that VOTE. And so they started bringing that to the forefront and talking, because she was accusing him, and he had lots of accusations on her. And at the time, like, if you weren't on board with him, he just, you just thought, oh, this fucking guy. And I was not on board with her, but I used to like her. I used to like her a long time ago, but I didn't like her at that point. I had already gone through all those Facebook posts and seen all of these people talking about her and stuff, and seeing like, oh my gosh, she's bad, man. And so, so I didn't like her, but I didn't like him. At that point, I was just pretty fed up with the whole fucking bullshit of November. I was just like fucking fed up with it. And I could feel the closing in every time that they had us do that on limiting it over us on choice. That just seemed like the whole thing just really, I don't know, when you question that, it just starts pissing you off every time that it comes about, and you're like, So that was going to me for a long time. It was that one when the Dems did that to Bernie and slid in Hillary. That was where I was like, this makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. What the fuck are they doing? She has no following. He has this huge following, going pairing up against this other guy with this huge following. It's much more neck to neck. Then you're gonna fucking bring her up? What the fuck are you doing? What? That was so absurd. And so, you know, but this is just now happening to some people. That happened a long time ago to me on that part. But so anyways, but everything, is our own thing. I'm not saying, well, they should have done it, should have figured it out with that. No, it's like we're going to see what we see when we see it. And it's for us to see at that time. It's like our eyes open, and it has to do with our journey, And so, anyways, once he got in, that first 4 years wasn't to fix everything. When he said, he's going to go in and drain the swamp, it was to get attention on, there's a swamp, there's a politician to come out, or, what was considered at the point, once he's in politics, to come out and call all these people out and talk about all the bad corruption and stuff. And so it got a lot of traction. And then that letter came out and started, dropping hints and saying, think for yourself, look into this, think about this, what about that? And it kept, that's why I said it's like the questions to wake us up. It's questioning things is what wakes you up. And I think it's because it starts a conversation with, higher mind. And so otherwise, you're just going on track. But when she's like, wait a minute, where am I going? What am I doing here? Then you start, it's like you open your mind to the higher mind. And so so that first part was really, to wake people up, which a lot of people woke up. The people who were supposed to wake up, woke up. We woke up when this stuff started going. And so then he, because that is when, okay, because they were talking so much shit on him and on the media and stuff. And so, no, Charlie Freak, wasn't that in 2020? Yeah, because it was when I saw the other Charlie. Okay, so Charlie Freak didn't even talk anything about that. It wasn't during that time. So during that time, he looked like a buffoon to half the people. And half the people, they thought he was the greatest thing in the whole wide world. But it was kind of like the people who were fringe people who hated the government, which there is a lot in more rural communities, mountain communities, like a lot of people who don't want government and stuff. And when you start finding out the history of government and how they've, slowly edged their way into our homes, then you can see, like, those people, they were awake to that a long time ago and get the fuck out of here. And so, and they were infringing on people's rights and stuff. So you had this group of people who were waking up, and they were seeing, like, hey, this guy's got our life preserver. This guy can get us the fuck out of this. So they all started, wearing his hat, loving him, and trying to tell people. But the rest of us, we were all, he's a crazy buffoon. What's wrong with you? And they're all dropping this stuff like he's a perv all the time. And so it was like a real beat down on him with the media and stuff back then in his first part. But then, oh yeah, okay. Oh man, time is God, it's just merging. Like I was seeing, oh my gosh, that was weird how I was seeing it. Oh, that nothing was, okay, now I see. Okay, so it was when the sickness, that was at the end of his term, the sickness came. And maybe it was they didn't know for sure when they were going to come at us with that, but that was already, they already knew, because the sickness was created to collapse the money. That's what the bad guys were doing, was because they were trying to get us on a different one. that was going to be more limiting, not on this other one. It wasn't the battle with this other one. It wasn't like they were going to put us on the gold standard. That was never going to happen. They were putting us on a compliancy kind of money. Their movement was towards getting us all chipped, which somebody was showing a picture of Elon, an older picture of him, and saying, this is not the same guy. And that makes sense, but you can drive yourself crazy going in and trying to figure all this stuff out, because there is so much fakeness. There is so much stuff, because it could have been very much, you know, because there's stuff he comes from this rich family that is probably into all those rituals and stuff. I don't know, but there's some weird stuff that, like, his nanny or something said, his governess or whatever. She's like, he's a real creeper, man. And I don't remember the whole thing, what she said. You'd have to find it if you can. And but if he was swapped out, if this is like not a new Elon or something, because definitely we got that going. And we got ones, you know, that aren't even there. There's just different people playing the part for him. So I don't know. Who knows? Like, this place is so fucking fake. But in that part, so Donald went on a world leader tour during that first reign, and went around and saw these people. And he did things that the media tried to say, you know, what a buffoon he was. He's totally he doesn't even know what the fuck to do. And that's where Charlie Freak stepped in. So at the end of his reign was when the sickness was going. And that's when he was pulling up those experts, where the way he was talking to them and the way it was on camera every day doing this, I was like, this is, it's like they're doing the same thing as before you go to court. What is that? A deposition. It's like they are getting them on record and with their lies, because I knew that they were lying, like some of these people. It's like, I mean, I never could understand how every medical person who ever worked in medical did. I was like, you know, I'm not the fucking genius or anything, but what the fuck? And so, yeah, that would trip me out, man. But, yeah, I could see through the lies real quick. And so I knew they were lying, and the way he would talk to him, the way he would say, and the way he would come up with things. And I knew the things he was coming up with was more higher technology and stuff, more advanced medicine, science and stuff. So I knew he wasn't just pulling things out of the air. And just, you know, I knew he was saying real things, and he was getting them on. It's like, because to me, it was always like, it made him not be responsible for all of the stuff that is unfold, like the truth behind it, because they were lying to him. They were lying to the public. They were lying to the president. They did all that. You already got Kansas governor suing, I think, the PF one. You got whole countries suing him, like leader, like that, you know, they lied to all these different leaders and stuff, all these different people. So they are going to be held responsible, and he got it all on video. You know, there's no like, no, I didn't say that. Oh, yeah, you did. Pull up the footage. So, yeah, that's all real. And so I noticed that when I would go in, because every day I'd go in and, I mean, we're locked down, and I don't have a bunch of channels. And so I'd go in and watch the live things, because I was trying to put it together and see. Oh, yeah, and I had those tickets. I had those tickets to that thing to go see this person who I feel very connected to. And I was front row center. It was so weird how everything had gone. It was the weirdest thing. And then everything closed down. And, you know, you can't force timing. It wasn't the right time or whatever, but still, that was a long fucking time ago, man. And so, anyways, so I could see, so I was going in, tuning in, because I wanted to know what the fuck was going on, how long they could keep this shit going, this shenanigans. And I started noticing this weird shit. And and the executive orders, like he was signing them, like would be on stage sometimes and start signing these ones. And there was always these things, you know, if you were involved with certain crimes, that it was curtains for you, buddy, and whatever is left behind in your fucking 12 mansions goes back to the people, especially the people who you've harmed. So, and it's so vast. Fuck, man. I saw a video the other day of a guy who just got arrested. Somebody who knows, the head of DSA, I don't know. He's some guy. And they got access to his computer, and the court papers or whatever. This person started reading them, and they were like, "It's so fucking horrible. It's crazy." And I heard a couple of the things. I was like, "Oh my God, I can't listen to this shit, man. Fuck, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Fuck, you talk about feeding your fetishes, you fucking freakos. God damn, I don't understand hurting people for your own pleasure. Like, fucking hell. Especially innocent, not even somebody who's coming in and subjecting themselves to it. You just, oh my God, these fucking people." So, so I had seen that. And so I was, and that, you know, it was during the time where I started seeing Donald very different. And then I started seeing the media sound bites of what they would say. And my kids would say, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say, no, I watched it. That's not what happened at all. It was blah, blah, blah. And that's where this great divide started occurring. And all of a sudden, I was a crazy racist, religious fanatic. And before I was a cult person. Then I became a religious fanatic. So anyways, it's all in the propaganda, programming bullshit. It's all indoctrination. They give them keywords to attach to or something. So once I saw that stuff, my mind opened, you know, to seeing things differently. And then I started seeing how, because I had a deep understanding about the age of Aquarius, and because I said I've been seeing this stuff. And so I was understanding that. Once I started opening my mind to him, I started seeing how he fit into that, and how he was not just, he was a part of it. He was, you know, had a huge part that he was playing in it. And then I could see why a lot of the religious people were saying, like, he's the savior and all that stuff. I was seeing, oh, because it's all in perception. It's all how you perceive. I could see he was a player, and he was a catalyst for awakening. He was a player. Is that around that time is when I started realizing that people were like asleep, and that people were like, you could try and talk to people. People weren't paying attention. That's when I started catching on to, oh, but this is an awakening. This is like coming out of a deep sleep. And so it just kept unfolding or whatever. But Charlie Freak, and that's when I found Charlie Ward, and he was talking about the money and how this whole thing was planned, how he had heard about it years ago. His stuff was really interesting. It was going all together. And he was talking about the Jubilee, the money, and what was going on. And so I felt fortunate because I was getting all these pieces, you know, and I didn't know what to look for, whatever. This is what I've said, like, the universe brings me stuff. And so I was putting together all those pieces, and that's when the Charlie Freak thing. So in the Charlie Freak thing, he went and did a breakdown of all this other stuff that was going on, of not what the media was saying, what Donald was doing, but he was giving real, it was real, it was good. Like, you can go in and listen, and you can decide, well, I'd go with the media. But his stuff, it just made so much sense. But in there is where I started hearing about the, so when he was going on that tour, it was very confrontational. So it was a meaning. When he walked in front of the Queen, it wasn't because he was an idiot. He was showing who was in control. When he, like the other day, he walked past the Saudi prince, and he tapped him on the shoulder, and you're not allowed to touch him. And the guy was like, what the hell? And he turned and saw him, because, you know, he doesn't follow the stuff. And there's a whole bunch of things, like when you go, like where the Chinese president or whoever, their leader, took him to a sacred place or something. Like there was a whole bunch of stuff. I can't remember them all, but he broke it all down. It was really good. And he said that then when he went and met with the world leaders, so I don't remember if it was at the DAVOS or some meeting with the WE, the WEF. It was a meeting with those guys or whatever. It was the same fucking group that's trying to run the world, and they're all a bunch of eugenic fucking creepos who are the bitches for the vamps. So they're a bunch of skeezes. Some of them I think are vamps probably. So anyways, those guys, in the video that the media showed, it was when he was walking with all these crowd of guys, and he was like going and pushing through them, and they were talking about, how rude he was and stuff like that. No, he was showing them who was fucking boss when you go and hear about from the other perspective. And so he went in, and they all go to this table, and he went and sat down a packet in front of every single one of them. And I don't remember if he just said, no, I think maybe he just set the packet down and then walked out. I can't remember the total details. But anyways, everybody got a packet. And they were all packets from the NRA that gave all the evidence against them. And so they all got opportunities over, you have all the evidence, so you can either extend your time by turning things around, or you can go now. And that's where some people went now, like Barack. I swear to God, he was one. Tom Hanks, there was a bunch that are gone, and there's fake people playing them. But anyways, so there was I think an opportunity that you could redeem yourself, you could turn things around. And it would be on different levels. Like there's some people who have done so many bad things that you're not gonna be able to redeem that. You can, get a little more time or whatever, but you're not gonna be able to, you're still gonna have consequences over this. So anyways, supposedly Gator, but I don't know. If he's the real guy or what. There was definitely pictures where he didn't look like the real guy. She didn't look like the real person. And then when you hear, like, fucking hell, they were just fucking world touring this shit, handing them out. Here, we're gonna save you guys. It's all these fucking studying. And yesterday I watched this fucking movie. It was crazy because I've heard of this movie a bunch of times, and it even popped up the day before, and I didn't pay attention. But then when I saw it was the new one from Newcastle, After Dark, then I was like, oh, I want to watch it. And so The Boys from Brazil. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. If you've never seen, I had never seen it. You gotta watch that shit. Oh my God, especially at this point in time of knowing what we know and stuff. Jesus Christ, I couldn't fucking believe it. And so anyways, yeah, they've been cloning a long ass time, man. Like for people who don't fucking believe in that shit, they think, oh, that's so crazy, they're not doing that. They've been doing a long ass fucking time. So yeah, they do know. And they do it more commonplace, I think, than we have any idea. Like, I swear to God, I think there's some of us that, like, I don't know. Especially you watch that, or implant, like, I don't know about those. And our whole incubator baby thing, so, yeah, they fucking are. They have been, and every incubator baby could have been the same motherfucking cell, the same motherfucking DNA or whatever. And what's even gets creepier is that they track this shit. So, where there's these fucking psycho scientists, man, they're a bunch of fucking weirdos. Because they don't have any ethics. They don't have any, they don't answer to God. They're competing with God or something. I don't know. It's just weird. Because they do weird shit. But, I mean, our whole beginning of our existence comes from weird shit. Because, I mean, that's where we come from. So I'm doing this weird lab shit, right? And it's where earthlings come from. So, yeah, this place is trippy at best. So, anyways, at that point, then, you know, I mean, all of us were hanging on the thing like, well, you've told us enough. Now we're ready. We're on board. Let's do this shit. And so we were ready for the fall at that point. And then when they did the cheat for Joe, it was, oh my, and it was so fucking obvious. Oh my God, when you knew what to look for, it was so motherfucking obvious. And all these people, oh my God, there has been some rough shit through this stuff. It's like you're looking at these people like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is real. Like, what? The cheating is so fucking blatant. Like, are you kidding me? And so the Great Divide continues. And so at that point, then I thought, you know, they were going to have Joe out quick. I swear to God, I thought the helicopters were going to come down at the, you know, the celebration on the January 20th when they do that whole swearing thing. And I thought that was going to be the raid, and I was going to take them all down. It was like we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for, you know, something to happen. And it starts being like, why'd they tell us all this shit? And then we're all fucking, now we know they're all a bunch of fucking pervs and we sound crazy telling people all the time. And they're all a bunch of fucking freaks. And so, you know, which just furthered the divide. And those of us who could see and wanted justice and pissed off, and these people are just like, I ain't got crazy, shut up. And I gotta get to work. And so then and then we had to go through the whole motherfucking 4 years. I was, goddamn, yeah, I've had some rants and stuff. Then stuff I would get back is like, this is how it has to go. This is the way it's meant to go and stuff. And that's what I was saying. Like, things are playing out the way they're supposed to play out. There's nothing we can do about it. And believe you me, I have fucking visualized. I have walked into I have done this and done. You cannot. I don't give a fuck what these people say. Like, okay, let's see the evidence then. Where are you time jumping to? Where are you doing this? I'll just leave that and go to there. I was like, bullshit. Bullshit if it's just like you can just put yourself there. Fucking hell. If you could, I would have done it. It's different than what they say. And I think it creates a lot of frustration. It creates frustration in me. And so, anyways, to me, it's so much more about just coming into peace and enjoying the ride. And wherever it takes you is where you're meant to go. And there's all this like trying to force the universe, get out of this timeline, jump into that one, put yourself in your best one. But, you know, because I'd be in my fucking new home by now, you know, like visualized and visualized and visualized. So, and I didn't visualize the way this was going to play out at all. You know, I had completely different visions of things, completely different. So, yeah, it'll spin you around and throw you a fucking side path. So, anyways, yeah, I don't align with what all this bullshit that these new spiritual people say or whatever. So, and where do they get it? Like, what are they, if they haven't done it, what are they fucking talking about it for? So, anyways, so in that 4 years of frustration, like, but there was so much stuff that they were trying to show or disclose or whatever. And so the things that stood out to me was this ridiculous spending, the blind faith that these people have, like just, but there was a lot of stuff. And it seems like there has a lot to, like there's so many things with the trans issue, like that whole thing. I just saw a video, and I've seen a few different perspectives and stuff. Like one was really, really good. It was a lesbian, and she was, what was she? She was on something. She was in the agenda for like, oh, like she was medical or something. And she was right on board with all the shit going on. And then she started seeing the aftermath of kids coming back and the problems and all that stuff. And then she started realizing, you know, when she started trying to say something or whatever, she started realizing that they're taking like broken gay kids and breaking them worse and stuff. So her whole thing is like, we should be free to be gay without having to change our bodies because you're uncomfortable and stuff. Like, and she was like, I mean, they are damaging all these kids and stuff. Her thing was really impassioned. It was really good. And she was speaking before the Senate or something, a big giant thing like that. And hers was really good. And then this, you got all these people at this battle, you know, that one governor, well, we're going to let boys play in girls sports, which here the other day, there was one in, I think it was Tumwater or something, Tumwater High School. So it's a pretty small town compared to like Spokane or Seattle in Washington. And at the high school, so this girl was 14 and 15-year-olds on the JV team. And this basketball player, when another person came on, I think I already told you guys, another person came on the thing, she went and sat on the bench. And the coach was like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm not playing a fella. And he's like, you know, that's homophobic. You know, started turning it on her. And so she got in trouble. It made the news and all this stuff. And so here, I mean, there's so much absurdity, which the other day there was something on the news about something, and they said Whatcom County's under investigation. What did I say? I told you guys they were fucking corrupt as fuck. So, I'm pretty sure that was the one, because I don't know of a Whitman County, so I'm sure it was Whatcom County. So anyways, and it was quick that I heard it. And so I was like, didn't they just say Whatcom County? And my mom was like, yeah, I think they said Whatcom County. And I said, I told you guys they were corrupt as fuck. Told you. It's like, and I could see it clearly because we were already going constitutional for the people. That's this shift that keeps happening with these different governors. If they shift onto the Constitution, but these other ones that they keep saying on the corporation, Washington, Oregon, California, some of these ones, that's our problem is with blue is corporation. It's not the other thing. And constitutional, so it's they're going against us and all their fucking absurd bullshit. And so one of the things, you know, because it's this total crossfire going on there, but and you had this, what apparently the blue made these people feel safe and cozy. They were just giving them rights and making it just free and just blowing this whole thing up. Well, and then it starts going into common sense and stuff and starts shifting back, and these people are feeling like they're being pushed out, like they're just being pushed out. And it's like, no, that's not what they're doing. As far as what I can understand is it's, you know, we're going to go back to common sense. You are what you're born as. That's what you are. If you change along the way, then you've changed, but you're still born this thing. So you can't go and become, you know, because the one in that basketball was that 18-year-old guy coming in and playing 14 and 15-year-old girls. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell? It's absurd. And it ended up coming out that one at the Olympics where there was all that big thing that it was born a fella. So, yeah, the stuff is, it's just crazy. So it's going back to just like, we're not going to argue about it. We're not, this is what it is, straight up. And that doesn't mean that you can't be trans. You can be trans, but you just would not be able to go and say, you know, pretend like I was really born a woman. You know, no, you're going to be like, I was born a fella, but I didn't like it, so I became a woman. That's what I did. You know, and whatever medical things you have to endure is what your choice is. That's your thing. Sometimes it becomes consequences, and sometimes it becomes hard, but, you know, it's your journey. It's your path. It's what you're here to experience. It's your lessons. It's your life. This is your deal. And so it's not involving the rest of us. We're arguing about who can play and who can't play. You know, it's like, why? Why do we have to be involved? No, we're all born this way. That's just the way it is. Let's go. So it's just trying to, you know, take out the nonsense. But it makes these people feel like, well, they're going against us. And so it starts all this, oh, he's going to kill us all. Or it's a Holocaust. All this stuff. And it's like, that's not what's going on. They're just trying to bring us back to There's nothing to talk about here, nothing to talk about here. It's just to get us out of all these fucking rules and turn it into she's homophobic and shit because she doesn't want to go out there and get her ass kicked by an 18-year-old guy on the fucking court. Are you joking? It's like, so it's just to just get us back to a place where it's just this absurdity can stop. And you've got these, school is a big one on the agenda. It's a fucking government institution. So yeah, in a corporate state. So it's gonna totally try and influence this bullshit. So anyways, that's how I see it. Is it's all going just back to being common sense. So in the first 4 years, it was, to me, it was setting things up, getting things prepared. The next 4 was purposely, let them, because they could have won. I mean, they knew, it's like they knew he was going to do that. 80 million people is a lot, but still, it was always going to play out that way. And so in that 4 years, we were always going to see all of these things, but it was people weren't paying attention. And that's why they'll have to look back to see. But if you were paying attention, it was like raising your blood pressure and getting irritated and stuff. And that's where you had to learn how to trust and have faith and all of that stuff and to see the bigger picture. And that takes a lot of spiritual advancing, through the thing to be able to let go of certain things, and not try and control them or get mad or vindictive or all that. And then to not keep feeding into their division and to recognize, that these people are kind of in a mind trap. And so then this one, though, this 4, I mean, so fast, it's just coming out the fucking barrel. And so what this week definitely seems to be big on the press, where I keep hearing a key word in there, peace, 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 because that's a big part of the gold standard. That's a thing, like you can look up about the BRICS, like to sign on to it, you have to sign on to a peace treaty. Charlie Ward said that was going to be a whole thing about the money thing. Everybody was going to sign on to this peace treaty. We're going into this peace on earth. They're already shifting, where these different countries are going to become a part of the Americas or something. I don't know how they're all going to do it, how it's all going to end up playing out. But what we're really doing is all going under this peace thing. And Donald is going to lead, but there's all these other leaders. Like I said, it's like he's standing in front, but he's got all these leaders with him. But he's just like a step in front, like the major in the parade or something, but he still has all of them, and they're all signing on, and they all keep saying these different things. So what they've got going now with this drama with Z, and so now they've called an emergency meeting with all these countries, have gone in to discuss, because everything is going to keep wrapping up and going towards peace. So that is where I see, that now things are going into place. They're putting things in place. At the same time, they're putting in place about everybody signing on to this and making sure people understand, even though I don't think everybody's hearing that when they are talking about the peace, peace, peace. But, that's what they're doing. And then but at the same time, we've got the Doge people going in and showing all the misspending, all of the bullshit with the money and stuff. And there's nothing that these people can do. And keep in mind, a lot of the people who are screaming and yelling, it's their it's not even them, it's their clone, it's their stand-in or something. A lot of them have already been arrested. It's a big show. This is a big fucking show. And it's so weird how, when you can look at it, because it's the same thing of these perspectives of seeing as things play out, and so at this point, it's like, man, this is just a big fucking show. But there's people who are really captured in every fucking thing that is going on, because it's a part of their awakening. And so they're all awakening to this craziness. That's what's waking them up. And so it's all these different levels of perspective through all these different things occurring. So, I mean, right now it seems like they're heavy on the thing about the collapsing the money, this big money change thing. Now, Barron again has come out and said that the first arrest is going to shock everyone. And so I don't remember on his last thing, because people say, like, he never goes and texts his stuff. And so I don't know on the last one where they were like, he said this. I don't remember whatever happened about that. So I don't know if this means like that we're everything. I'm always looking for just movement, because fuck, man, that was Joe's for rain. Those years were like fucking hell. Oh my god, it was like Groundhog Day. This is even feeling so tedious to me, so fucking tedious. But then I also have things in my life that feel tedious, you know. So, but it feels like, oh my God, this is drag and drag and drag. Come on, move it faster. But you see, the people are on edge, like they can't handle it. Like some of us can handle it, but others, they're fragile over all this stuff. So, and they are confused. They don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's weird because they also have other things going too. Like it's almost like they're going to disclose about aliens at the same time. Like I don't know. It seems like it's going to go so together. All the things are going to kind of go together. The medical, that making us sick on purpose. There's just so much. And I saw another video pop up of a guy just brokenhearted over his wife. I'm telling you, these are going to be the ones that are going to have the most anger. And it's coming. I mean, you know, these people, there's repercussions to your choices. I mean, you're doing things. I don't know. There's just so many different storylines playing out. You can't just wrap them all up into one or something. It's just a lot of different stuff, a lot of different things playing out in all these different lives. But you know, because some of those are past life thing. Like there's a lot. There's just so much. It's like your thing is the only thing you need to really worry about is your own stuff. The rest of the stuff you can observe, but you can't just get yourself all caught up in it, you know. Otherwise you're tied into it emotionally and energetically and stuff. So it's like you got to release. Just keep on going towards observation, just watching things play out and letting it just play out naturally. And man, I'm already at 102. There's another thing I wanted to talk about too. We'll have to do it faster. But anyways, so that's how I see. It seems like we're getting closer and closer to the financial collapse, which that is the thing I'm waiting on, man, because that is going to start opening up land, all this money coming back to us, so we can get places, like we can go out and buy a place and not owe anybody anything. You know, we can go out and buy land or whatever. I just saw this coolest, a girl had bought a yurt off of Craigslist 10 years ago. And I guess she does all her thing on Instagram or whatever, but now she'd moved over to TikTok. So I don't know how long it took her to fix it all up. But it's been 10 years in the making of her fixing it, but she does all these videos of the play. It's so fucking nice. $4,000 and whatever, with a lot of work and whatever, and it's a cool ass house that she's got out wherever it is, you know, her thing. But they get us so caught up and thinking we all have to live in these, you know, this house, like the nicer your house is, the more garages, the more shit you have, the better person you are or something. And and then they get us all to just throw away our time and our lives, our families, our relationships and everything to just try and work and work and work so we can get all the cool stuff. So anyways, but it's a lot more like what is it you want from your time? You want to spend it all at a job, or you want to spend it, you know, hanging out with your friends? So you don't have to go in and buy a $650,000 house. You can go buy a $4,000 one and fix it up yourself. I saw a young girl who just bought her first house, a fixer-upper, and it needs to be kind of gutted or whatever. But because I was reading in the comments what the construction guys were saying to her, but it was a cool ass house, really cool old house. Like she has really cool stuff in it too, and but you can go buy that stuff for so much cheaper. But that is where, you know, we're gonna this financial thing is going to get it to where we're not owing for our houses and stuff. We can go get a place. We have our shelter. We have our land. We have our place we can grow our food, all the things that we need. And then communities will build too, but I don't know how it's all going to fit together. I can just see these certain things. Like I don't ever see like the whole thing. Like I can see it. I don't know how to explain it because it's like I can see it, but it's different going through it. And so, anyways, I don't know, but it seems like that we're close on the money thing, which is gonna, really free up a lot for a lot of people because there's so many homeless people. There's so many people that have just given up hope. They're just so beat down. So we need some things, some good things to start happening. But I don't know. The darkness definitely seems to really hold. They're really trying to hold their spot, but they're not going to be able to. They're going down. It's just going to happen naturally. Even though there's people playing parts that are the ones that will take them down and stuff, it's all going to just keep playing naturally because this is the end of an era, the end of a time, and the beginning of a new time. So the money thing, but it seems like the money thing is shifting faster because of all the peace talks. So it seems like to get us hurry and get onto this thing and all this. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that they're discussing about land and different things. So it just is however it's going to play out. This money shifting, which is going to be global, which yesterday I saw a video too in Greece. There was a huge protest, but it turned into a giant riot of them trying to take down the guards. So stuff is just going crazy everywhere. And, but this is the shift. This is the shift towards we want our freedom. And the money fall is going to give us everyone. This isn't just in America. This is going to be global. Everybody's going to get the same thing. And there's going to be more things globally that are going to keep, our landscape's going to keep changing. In the places by earthquakes, volcanoes, there's another big earthquake. There's earthquakes just going and going and going nonstop. The ground's shifting underneath us. And so it's going to break places open. Volcanoes are going to erupt and blow, and the land and the water is going to keep coming up and coming up. And so those things are going to happen, however long they take. I don't know if it's going to take another 5 years, if it's going to happen this summer. Like, I don't fucking know. I just know that it's going to keep going. Our landscape's going to keep changing all over the place. Other countries, not just here, all over the place. And so, as the humans that are left on the planet, those are all going to be living a completely different kind of lifestyle than what has been our lifestyle prior. It's going to be a lot more about freedom and experience and exploration and stuff, not this other drive of whatever, trying to gain success or something. And it's going to be a lot different, and there's going to be we're not going to be paying for land. I think we're going to be paying for houses, but land is, you can't sell the earth. So I don't know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things because it's going fast. I'm talking about the forest and all that. Just everything that is going is meant for, you're either an observation of it because it doesn't, you're just watching it play out, or if you're seeing it and it's giving you some kind of a trigger, then it's so you can go through your trigger and work through your trigger. So there's no wrong thing. Whatever's happening for you is how it's supposed to happen. These things are happening for us. So this is a expansion. So it's all good stuff, but we will start being able to live differently and live more free and not have house payments and car payments and all this shit. All these things, these traps and stuff, which now they're even with the car insurance saying if you're homeless, you can't have car insurance. See, this is against your human rights. Like all this shit, you have to have this, you can't have that, and then you can't drive if you don't have that. See how they just try and limit. It's just, it's absurd. But that's why I said they're blowing themselves up. They're just making it too ridiculous where people are no longer going to comply. People are going to keep going in another direction, and it's the direction towards freedom, which is, the way we're going. It's the motivation, it's the movement. And we have the major of the parade up in front who's leading the way, and all of the big band players, and we're just going in this direction. It's going to take us towards freedom, which is going to be, our houses are, and it's not going to be, our houses are going to be better quality. That's the thing. It's because in this movement where everybody's just trying to make money off things, cut corners. And there's so many people who have spent so much money buying these new houses, and they're full of mold because they left them exposed and water and sealed them, like everything. It's like, they just bring in an inspector, and then they bring in the next crew, they don't fucking put it all together. Back in the day when people were having really nice houses, it was craftsmen, like they give a shit about what they were doing. Now it's like these people don't give a shit. They just want their paycheck and then get to their happy hour, man. They don't give a fuck. So, unless it's their own place. But there's so many houses, new houses are just falling apart. And, but the other thing I wanted to say too, which I'll just kind of touch on it, was I saw this piano player, like it was these two guys in a mall playing, but I always think these things are set up. But these guys are playing this violin, and then this kid comes up and he says, "Can I play Vivaldi?" And I mean, I recognized it, but I didn't know, that much about it. And apparently, it's very difficult, even as an adult, have difficulties. And so they're like, "Okay, you think it's real hard?" And he's like, "I know, I think I can do it." And so he sits down. In the comments, you can see like he's a named pianist, this kid, and it shows his parents over there too, all like excited because this guy's kicking ass on the piano with these fucking violinists, and brings in a big crowd, and everybody's just like with their mouth hanging open. This kid is good, and it's so crazy too because when he's sitting there, his hair is Beethoven. I was like, man, he looks like Beethoven, and uh, and that's the thing too, is like when people don't understand about reincarnation and they think like this kid's just being born, as protege or savant and all this stuff. It's like, oh, he was probably a master pianist in his past life, and he just brings that skill along board with him. This is one thing too, is that I think people need to realize, because I tried to play piano, and to me, it was tedious. It was like, you got to go in and practice your piano. You got to go practice your piano. And you're done to do. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't I think because in school, when we were kids, when I went to school, you had music class. You were taught an instrument. Everybody got to learn an instrument, and you got to pick. And I picked piano, I think. I think maybe piano picked me or whatever, because they said, you have such long fingers, you should do the piano. And so I did the piano, but I found it tedious. I wasn't into it. And I think, I don't know, these parents could have been like, well, you're going to sit there for 6 hours until you finish. But I think there's kids that just come in natural. It's like, hell yeah, you know. And that is because it's in their soul. So you can't force somebody to become what they're not. But to me, it's like for kids, when you have kids, it's just to keep opening up more and more for them to be able to find themselves, to find these parts of themselves, because that, if he wouldn't have found the piano, if he's reincarnated, as it was a grand pianist in a past life, and then he comes into this one, and he always has this feeling of, this thing, and it never is access to him. That's his whole storyline too. That's a whole life storyline too. But the more you open up for your kids to experience and find themselves, the better. But you can't push them and force them to be something they're not. You got to let them go through and find themselves and what they're drawn to. And then when they're drawn to it, it's something inside them, and they fucking can master it. You can't force, you got a Picasso, say, or Rembrandt or whatever, a Rembrandt, reincarnated as your kid, and you're trying to force them to be a Beethoven. You've got to allow them to find themselves. But yeah, it's real. Like, you have real experienced people coming back and to lives that bring in gifts They can do things that seem like, to the rest of us, like, what the fuck? And, but it's because it's a part of their DNA structure. It's a part of their life experiences. And so you can call them savant or protege, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But really, I believe it's just somebody who's mastered something and brings it forth into their next life to continue to enjoy it and maybe master it again. I don't know. Because, if that kid was a master pianist, he comes back and he's playing. Maybe he was a struggling pianist, never got noticed before, but it was really good. And in this one, he's going to come in and be recognized. Like, there's so many different things playing out all the time that, you can guess, but you can't get into somebody else's life journey. And I mean, it's hard enough to understand our own. I mean, that should keep you busy enough than to try and understand everybody's, why everybody is the way they are and who they are and all that stuff. But as a parent, I just would recommend just giving them opportunities to try all different kinds of things so that they can find themselves. Because you got some kids who are like, there's that kid designer. He and he makes all these clothes and designs them. There's that one kid, that crocheter kid. There's like all sorts of ones that are just like mastering certain things. So anyways, the more you open up your kid to discover themselves, the more that you probably will find things to be proud of them about. But anyways, that's the whole thing on itself. So we're getting up here in time. So, and the past few days, it has taken so long to download. I can't even believe it. Like, I start as soon as I finish, I start the download. However it takes long, 5-6 hours, it's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? So, anyways, I'll show you my tooth. Jeez, that was a fucking thing over there. This refrigerator, there's a little refrigerator over there. I think it makes a lot of noise. I know it has a lot of stuff. So, anyways, and the crater that used to be there, it's built up from that. This is just like different depths now. There's like no hole anymore. And so it's just like grayness where there's the more deeper parts. And then, but it just keeps building up. Now, like I said, it seems it goes gray, then it kind of goes orange, then it goes kind of cream color, whatever this color is. And then it just keeps doing that and doing that and doing that. So, anyway, it just keeps getting better. And so, just don't forget, because what we're doing here, through all of this craziness, all this stuff is playing out and all this stuff is going, what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, learning how to love everyone, and learning how to have a good, loving, happy day. So, we can just, that's just keep you busy right there. So, working on all those things is plenty. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.